The fighting between Iran and Israel may have paused for now, but the violence on the ground is far from over. In a tragic incident, 7 Israeli soldiers lost their lives in Gaza's Khan Yunis area. Their armored vehicle was blown up by an explosive, marking one of the deadliest attacks on Israeli troops inside Gaza in recent weeks. The Israeli army confirmed this heartbreaking news, adding that another soldier was badly injured by a rocket-propelled grenade that was fired on the same day. This incident happened even as a ceasefire between Iran and Israel continues to hold. The ceasefire was brokered by none other than United States President Donald Trump after a brutal 12-day war that saw heavy bombing on both the sides. Now, for nearly 2 weeks, Israel targeted Iran's nuclear and military facilities, arguing that Tehran's nuclear program posed a serious threat to the world. In fact, just before the ceasefire, the United States itself got directly involved by dropping bunker buster bombs on Iranian nuclear sites, an extremely serious escalation. On the other hand, Iran has always said that its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes and not for making the weapons. Well, life in Iran is slowly returning to normal since the ceasefire began. Iranian state media reported that roads were packed with heavy traffic, specifically around the Caspian Sea and areas outside Tehran, as people who had fled the city started coming back. Well, this is surely a good news. This shows that while the ceasefire seems to be holding, the scars of war are still really fresh. But tensions remain high. Iran's parliament has now taken a major step that could shake global diplomacy. Lawmakers voted almost anonymously to push forward a plan that would end cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United Nations body that monitors nuclear activities worldwide. Now, see it this way. If this becomes a law, it will make it much harder for the world to track Iran's nuclear program. Now, while Parliament can actually pass laws, the final say on sensitive issues like this one rests with Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iran's foreign minister even said that the IAEA failed to protect Iran's nuclear rights, hinting that the country may no longer cooperate with international nuclear inspectors. In the meantime, violence also erupted in East Jerusalem. A 66-year-old Palestinian woman was shot dead in a refugee camp. Local Palestinian officers claim that Israeli forces killed her with a shot in the head and then seized her body. Also, her husband and sons were arrested later that night. In the meantime, Israeli police said that they were still investigating, but reported that the woman arrived at checkpoint with serious injuries before she was declared dead. Now, back in Gaza, the Israeli military confirmed that 7 soldiers were killed when an explosive device hit their armored vehicle. Hamas, the Palestinian militant group, claimed responsibility for a separate attack, saying that its fighters ambushed Israeli soldiers hiding inside a residential building in southern Gaza. They used anti-tank missiles and then opened fire with machine guns. It's not clear yet if this is the same incident that resulted in the deaths of 7 soldiers. As this violence continues, Iran has also carried out more executions. On Wednesday, Iranian authorities hanged 3 men accused of spying for Israel. According to Iran's state news agency, the men were caught bringing assassination equipment into the country. This brings the total number of executions linked to this particular war to 6. Iran is one of the top countries in the world for carrying out executions, by the way. Human rights activists are growing more concerned that Iran could repeat the mass execution that it carried out after the Iran-Iraq war in 1960s. The human cost of recent Iran-Israel war has been devastating. A report from the US-based human rights activist group stated that Israeli strikes inside Iran killed at least 1,054 people and wounded more than 4,000. Their reports also noted that among the dead were 417 civilians, 318 members of Iran's security forces. However, Iran's government provided lower numbers, saying that 606 people were killed and 5,300 were injured. Now, on Israel's side, at least 28 people lost their lives and more than 1,000 were wounded during the war. This fragile ceasefire may be holding for now, but looking at the death toll, the rising tension in Jerusalem and Gaza, and Iran's growing resistance to nuclear inspections, it is clear that peace in the region remains fragile, uncertain, and extremely complicated.